And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. How are you guys doing? How are you all doing? Is my mic working properly? Let me try this again. Hold on. You see, there we go. Hopefully that's much better. Can you guys hear me clearly? I'm hoping so. Let's see here. Everything looks good. Okay. So what's going on, y'all? Good morning. It is a new day. It is a new day in the neighborhood. So, this is my last. Is this my last Monday? This is my last Monday, probably broadcasting from this apartment. This is my last Monday, y'all. Holy moly. Let me fix my mic. My mic fell and it's acting a little crazy. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay. Testing 1, 2. Okay. So my mic fell and it's been a little crazy. So here I am. I'm back. I can hear the sound. So yeah, this is my last Monday from my apartment. This is rough. Well, I was talking to one of my dear friends this morning and they said, "How you feel?" I said, "I am feeling and I have anxiety. My anxiety is up." To say the least. And but I am glad that I am, you know, yeah, it's one step at a time, one day at a time, as they say, one day at a time. The house is packed. Well, it's getting packed up, and boxes over here, boxes over there, boxes on that corner, and yeah, it is the last full week of living in this apartment. The last full week. Omar, thank you for coming in and sharing this time with me this year. I'm glad you were able to stop by. Hannah says, "Good morning, Ron, Touch Base Daily family." And Lisa says, "Good morning, everyone." And then we have in third place, the wonderful Omar. He says, "Good morning." And he said, "It's time for the next chapter, my friend." It certainly is. It's the next chapter, and it's exciting. I'm excited about it, but I also am having some major anxiety, and to just be honest, and is a whole nother space and a new chapter. But I'm really excited about the future. I am also a creature of, yeah, I am a creature of habit. Obviously, I lived here 30 years, so that's really a good habit. But I am also a creature of new dynamics and love new things and to experiment with life and good things, not bad things, good things. And so I'm excited about the new chapter. And I've been talking to several of my friends, talking to family members, and everyone's giving me the green light. So, and so many doors are opening as each day passes. I'm meeting some incredible people. I have some new people in my life that have really inspired me in so many ways. This, a couple of weeks ago, meeting the people from the Namibia Chamber, the presidential delegation to the UN, meeting those folks and meeting. Every day has been a new experience in this journey, which gives me great words to encourage other folks. Yes, the anxiety will be there. Yes, the butterflies will be there. Yes, the uncertainty will be there. It just comes with the territory. And what is that word we call fear, right? Well, you know that. You know the word fear. And I told you the story of how I learned what fear means, right? When I was in South Africa, and my tour guide he pulled us to the side before we were in the car. We were in his car. And he looked back at me because I was taking pictures and photographing. And as we're traveling, and we stopped the car, and he looked back at me. We kind of was just like parked. And he says, "Do you know the meaning of fear?" And I said, "Is this a trick question?" In my head, I was like, is this a trick question? And he said, yes. He says, I would like you to, he goes, what is the meaning of fear? And I said, when you're afraid. I don't know. I said, other than when you're afraid, when you're uneasy, there's an uncertainty, there's an uneasiness about something. When you don't know what's happening and you just kind of like can't figure it out. I said, that was my definition. He says, okay, you got it partially right. He was an older gentleman. He was an older gentleman. And make sure if you're in the building, hit the likes. That lets people know we're here. And he looked at me. And he says, fear. Let me give you a short definition of fear. And he says, fear is false evidence appearing real. And that was the first time I had ever heard that before. I was like, what? He says, false evidence appearing as if it's real. And I said, wow. And it changed my life. It was one of those, you ever have in your life a moment that is etched in your life history. Like you can just pinpoint it. You know that this point was a change in my life. The way I think, the way I'm now going to respond to the world is different because I heard this, or I did this, or I met this person. There's always a pivotal moment in our lives, as in this journey called life. Our life journey has pivotal moments that changes us or changes the directions of our lives. We're going down road B, but then we get to that intersection. This moment happens, and now we're going to the left and taking another road. And that's what it was. That's what it was. False evidence appearing real. And that changed my life forever. And so now, as I have this anxiety that I've been feeling, my buddy asked me this morning, he says, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you doing? I said, I typed away, anxiety. And it is anxiety. And but I know the anxiety is because of, again, it's the unknown. And anytime there's something unknown, it can induce a little anxiety, a little apprehension, little butterflies. I remember one older gentleman said to me when I first started becoming a photographer and started to do it professionally. And I had my first gig. I had my first thing that I was going to photograph. And I just told them, I said, oh my gosh, my stomach has butterflies. And he said, that's a good thing. He said, because when you have butterflies, you're not in your head, you're not depending on yourself. Meaning like you're not walking in like, I know it all. You're going in with humility. There's a certain amount of humility that is associated with these butterflies because you don't know it all. You just don't know it all. And we will never know it all. And but I'm excited. Another part of me is excited about life. I cannot wait until this chapter I moved to the new chapter. But yesterday I packed away some stuff. I packed away things on Saturday. Saturday I got a nice walk in, y'all. I got 4.67 miles in on Saturday. I walked and got some walking in, and but then I came back home and did some packing. Took all the pictures off the wall except for one. I'm going to take that off today, and I need to wrap them all up. And packed away some books. Took all the shelves out of a book on the final bookcase, and wrapped those up. And but as you are, like, I haven't moved in 30 years. Isn't that unbelievable? I have not moved in 30 years. And again, you've heard me mention that there's so many memories in this place, many, many memories. of the young people that have passed through, and Adrian and his friends, and they having them over, and having they all pile in the living room and watch television and watch movies, and me trying to be a good father and try to make pancakes or spaghetti because that's all I used to make back in the day. And then they all gather in the dining area, in the living room area, and watch movies and TV. So this apartment has so many memories, and I'm gonna miss every one of them. I've been taking photos over the last 2 months of all my sunsets, all my sunrises, all the reflections off the Empire State, the Empire State Building, the World Trade Center. Because in the mornings the sun rises in the east, but I don't have an east sky. I have a west sky. But what's unique about my sky is that I have the beautiful skyscrapers that are in front of me, and as the sun is rising, it reflects. You can see the sun reflecting off the buildings as it's coming into the bedroom. And so every morning I wake up with sunrise, but it's the reflection of the sunrise, and all of that will be gone. It will all be gone, but it was good. I was lived well. I used it for 30 years, and so I'm happy about that. I see DS is in the building. What's up, DS? Good morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family. DS here. And Mr. Bryson is in the building. He says, what's up, Ron? What's up, everybody? Happy Columbus Day. Enjoying this good cold weather. It's cool in New York City. And since you did mention Columbus Day, because we celebrate the Indigenous Day. Happy Indigenous Day today is when we remember all those that were here on this land that had their land stolen from them, and the persecutions. And on this day, we remember the Trail of Tears that was instituted by another renegade president of that time, that Mr. Andrew Jackson, right? So yeah, we remember the indigenous people that this was their land. The Mexicans, who people seem like they want to get rid of, this was their land. Mexico extended, not Mexico didn't end where it is today. Mexico extended all the way up into the Colorado area, even as far as Wisconsin. So that was all Mexican territory. The Mexicans, indigenous people of this land, and the American indigenous people, as they say in Canada, the first people here in the Americas. So we celebrate them. We celebrate them on this day. And I don't know about you, but there's nothing in the history books for me to celebrate Columbus, because Columbus was a bad player. If you know the history of Columbus and what he said and what he did, and you read some of his notes, you would have been like, he ain't worth celebrating at all. But I know there's some people that want to celebrate him. But he is not worth celebrating. I think I'll paraphrase one of them. It was there was a writing. There's a writing where I think he's now he's in one of the islands. I'm not sure which island it is, and he gets there and then he documents. Oh, the people are so wonderful. They're friendly and kind, beautiful. They accept us. I'm paraphrasing. We can take advantage of them. You can see the mindset of that. The colonizers are they're just bad people. The colonizers. Who says that? They're so kind. They're so, here's the word. I think the word was exploit them. We will have no problems exploiting them. Look up Christopher Columbus notes. You will be shocked if you haven't read his notes and how he felt about the indigenous people of the Caribbean island. Because again, the indigenous people of North America, they also, their cousins extended all the way into the Caribbean. You know, Puerto Rico wasn't a black, you know, it was the black people in Puerto Rico. They were the indigenous people. There were no black people in Jamaica. They were indigenous people. There were no black people in Barbados, in the Bahamas. All these people, all these places had originally Native Americans, a native indigenous people of the Americas. So when we think about this, I'm so glad that we are making history over the time over these years. And someone said, wait a minute, why are we celebrating Columbus? He was part of the problem and had the nerve to land somewhere else that he was supposed to be. He was supposed to land in North America, but he ended up in the Caribbean and still declared that he had discovered something. Talk about distorting history. Anyway. Yeah, I can go on, but I digress. Mr. Diaz says, so you will be staying in different places. How long will you be doing this? For 2 years. For 2 years. And after 2 years, I'll make a decision on where my next home will be. And Janet says, anxiety is to be expected. Great new things. We believe in you. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, Janet. Dia says, why are you doing this? Well, last year, my buddy was here from Namibia. And for the first time, I started to explore what the final chapter of my life would look like. I think at that time I was 60 years old, right? I was 60. Last year, this time I was 60. And so, every decade, I'm always making adjustments. Every decade, I reflect. Every decade, I respond. It's just the way I do it. 50 years old, then I start strategizing. So when I turned 52, I was out of the Container Store and started my profession as a full-time photographer. When I turned 40, by 41, 42, I was out of Wall Street, and now I was working in retail and doing all sorts of. I was a visual merchandiser and taking on a whole new chapter of being a senior visual merchandiser for a company. Every 10 years, I reevaluate. It's important to reevaluate your life. Some people should. Every 5 years, I do an assessment. Every 10 years, I take action. So this is 10 years in. And so last year when my buddy was here, I started to investigate what would life look like if I was living overseas. And I started asking him a series of questions about Namibia. What would life look like? What's the home situation? What's the economy like? What's the geopolitical connection to the rest of Africa? What's this geopolitical connection to the world? How would I travel? What would I do as a photographer? I started asking a series of questions. We laughed about it that 3 weeks ago. Because it was just a thought a year ago, literally a year ago this week. It was a year ago this week that I started spinning this thought in my head. And because I was still also investigating why everyone was going to Ghana, people were going to live in Ghana. I was looking at all the expats. One of my other friends, she lives in Astoria, Queens, but she said, you know what? She went to Paris to live. Kind of like just to work. And then next thing she met her fiance and she fell in love. And now she's living her best life in Paris. And I started to look at all my friends who were living globally. And I said, what would that look like for me? I realized that and then it was reaffirmed when I had my cancer diagnosis. When I had the cancer diagnosis in January. Well, I didn't know until February, really, that I had cancer. They say it was negative until they took it out. And when they took out the tumor and they said you had second stage cancer, and I didn't even know I had cancer. I had second stage cancer. And then they took it out and it was all gone. And to this day, nothing's bad, nothing's happening, nothing wrong there. It was at that point that put you have a sentence, you're processing a paragraph, you're processing sentences. Well, it was the cancer diagnosis that put the period on, yes, you will move. Yes, you will sell your apartment. Yes, you will get on with life and live your best life now. And it just happened to coincidentally all happen at the same time that the cancer happened. My mother had dementia, and I finally was able to get her in a nursing home. Medicaid was approved, and all these things started to come to a juncture where everything was pointing it was time. And then I was turning 62, getting ready for Social Security and my pension and all the other things that are out there. So as life began to merge, then I began to say, this is a reality that could be achieved. And I'm not a believer of when you get older, you just sit in a rocking chair and do nothing. That's just not how I ever thought I would ever be. I am a believer that every decade should be reevaluated, or change should happen every decade in your life. The youth used to say it when I was a youth director. They used to say, they know me as an adult now, and they've grown up with me, and now they're all parents, and some of them even grandparents now. And some of them have always pulled me to the side and say, Ron, you always reinvent yourself every decade. I said, I'm glad you observed that. It is very good. It's very healthy to reevaluate every decade and do something new. And like I said, when I turned 50 and I left my job and became an entrepreneur, which I had never done before, that was all new to me. It was butterflies then. And let me tell you, it was a scary experience to leave my job. I mean, some of my friends were like, Ron, are you crazy? You should be getting ready for your retirement. You can't leave your job at 52 years old. And I did. And I'm better off for it. I've had such amazing experiences over the last 10 years. I would have never had a photo in National Geographic. I would have never even expanded my photography like that. I would have never had a photo in the New Yorker or the Interior Design magazine. The list goes on. I would have never had those opportunities if I would have stayed and did, what came easy. You have to challenge yourself. If you don't challenge yourself, you don't know what you can achieve. And I mean, now I look back, as 10 years ago, over the 10 years, between 52 and 62. Well, I'm almost there. So much has happened in these 10 years. I mean, like I said, I've traveled, I've met leaders from around the world. I've photographed incredible people. I've met incredible, movie stars, directors, politicians. I've photographed so many people. I would have never done that. I've gone to so many countries. I've been to seven countries in Africa, which was beyond my imagination. I have lived a very good life in these last 10 years. But when I first made the decision to do it, is the same feeling as I have now. The moment of anxiety, There's something new. You're trying something new. But it's healthy. It gets the brain going. It gets those juices flowing in your mind and in your body. It makes you excited because the unknown brings so much joy. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone. Maybe some of you have tried it, but if you haven't, you might want to try it. Don't settle for less when you can get more. Don't settle for less when you can be more. You just have to get out there and do it. And I've been fortunate. I've been blessed. I've been so blessed. I was just talking to Jamel this morning, Jamel Shabazz. We had a great conversation before I came on board, came on here today. And the experiences of life, I remember when I first went to my first Photoville event and I saw Jamel Shabazz's work in that event. I was like, who's this dude? I like his work. Never knew that over the years, I would end up meeting him, hanging out with him, talking to him, and now he's my mentor. He's one of my mentors. And to be able to say, hey, he called me up this morning. We just had a good conversation. That would have never happened if I would have just stayed at the Container Store and didn't go with the gut. So I hope I'm encouraging someone out there, even if it's just one person. I'm not interested in masses. I'm interested in encouraging one person, because one person could change the world. One of you could change the world forever. One of you, whoever's listening to this, you could change the world if you just step out in spite of the anxiety, in spite of the fear, the evidence of things that just you don't know about. Just get out there and do it. Get out there and do it. And then I have so many friends that have encouraged me over the years and say, Ron, because you did such and such, I have had a better life because I am doing it. Someone talked to me this week and they were like, Ron, I'm watching your journey and you are inspiring me to make some changes. It's worth it. If you can touch one life in the world, it's worth it. So that's where I am today. Yes, I'm reflecting. I'm definitely reflecting. I'm definitely having the moments. And I told Adrian, I said, Adrian, we'll be sitting around probably on the sofa or out on the porch or the patio, and I'll end up just boo-hooing out of nowhere because it's the end of a chapter, but it's a new chapter and I get to write it. It's a blank canvas. I get to create whatever I want. It's a whole new world. Right? Remember our TV series that we loved? It's a whole new world from where you came from. It's definitely a whole new world. And I'm doing things I never thought I could do. And I know I'm going to do things beyond what my imagination has allowed me to be able to do, to think of it, of what I can do, if that makes sense. Right? I had a conversation with my cousin yesterday, another cousin I call, and we were just talking, my blood cousin, y'all know Chad. We were talking yesterday, and he says, Cuzzo, you inspired me to do such and such. And I was like, really? I said, I didn't know that. He said, yeah. So guys, it's more than living life for yourself. But hopefully you get lucky and you get blessed to live a life for yourself, but then it overflows to others. Or you can think about living for others, and then there's an overflow for you. It kind of like, it's like a circle. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. But if you get out there and do it, You never know what you're able to do in spite of the fear, the anxiety, the bubbles, the butterflies. Just do it. Okay, let's see what else you guys are saying. Thank you. See, GS, you always give me these deep questions that make me go in. DS, he says, sounds fun and exciting. And Elise says, good morning, everyone. Yes, it's a good morning indeed, Elise. So good to see you in the building. She says she's listening on the road. Listening on the road. Janet says, greetings, Lisa, Hannah, Bryson, Omar, Ron, and the balance of Touch Base Daily family. Everybody, good morning, she says. And then Jamel says, grand rising family. If you're in the building, hit the likes, and let people know we're here. Gia says, where are you going first? I'm going to North Kakalaki. No, I'm going to North Carolina. My first trip, my first destination. I will be, for those that are looking for me and you want to connect with me, I will be in the great state of North Carolina for the month of November. So November, I am camping out. My friends they're so excited. The room is already getting set up for me, and I'm excited to be with them. My best friend, you know who I mentioned, Nia, and my friend Mimbo, my couple, it's the four of us, the Four Amigos, or the Fantastic Four. Winter's coming down to join us, so we're going to just have a great celebration. I'm going to eat at the Queen's, what they call the. What's our favorite restaurant? It's oh gosh, it'll come back to me. But this great Louisiana restaurant that we go to, whew, we're gonna celebrate, y'all. We're gonna celebrate. But my first road trip is to North Carolina, and then while I'm in North Carolina, I will probably end up in Atlanta, maybe for several days. And I know that I'll be visiting my sister. I'll be visiting my father. I'll be doing a whole lot in the North Carolina region and meeting people and connecting with friends and family. And then December I'm back in New York and for family time. And then I may end up scurrying to Florida. God, I can't even believe I'm going to Florida, but I have so many family members that have moved from New York to Florida. So I said, you know what? I might as well kill two birds with one stone. And then my best friend, he heard that I was going to move. And he was like, yo, dude, I ain't going to have no one to hang out with. And he's my movie buddy. We've been friends for 40 years. And it's great to have a great friendship like that. And he was like, yo, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I was like, well, you can always visit wherever I go. And but then an unfortunate thing happened this year. His mom passed away. And so his sister was taking care of the house and doing so many things there in the family. And he says, you know what? I'm going to go help my sister. I'm going to go to Florida. He says, and so he ended up moving before me. He left 2 weeks ago. I was like, what? You left before me. You left me here in New York by myself. Like I said, he's my road dog. We get in the car, we go to the movies, we go eat. He's my partner in crime. He tells me all about all kinds of stuff in his love life and all other stuff. When you have great friends like that, you're the best. You're priceless. So I'll be visiting him and his sister. And while I'm there, I'll be visiting my other buddy, who is my childhood buddy growing up. He's in Tallahassee. So I'll be in Tallahassee, I'll be in Miami, and I'll be in Orlando. So December is looking like Florida. And then January, it's bye-bye. It's now Namibia. I'll be leaving for Namibia in January. So I'll be all over the place. So I have friends all over the globe, all over the states. And if they will have me, I will come, because my whole thing is to help them. I'd rather pay, especially when all my friends are going through stuff right now. This economy is not good to everyone. So I'm not going to just hang out and just hang out on their sofa. Oh no. I want to go there and help them. I get to give them some money to help them out, help them with groceries, help them with this. Look, I'm not paying the money I used to pay here. I used to pay my maintenance, my mortgage, my insurances for this apartment. I'm not going to have to do that. So now I can do that and help others. Why not give my money to my friends? So that's what I'm doing. I can get to hang out with them and also bless them. Also with my company. So it's two birds with one stone. You cannot lose. I'm going to be hanging out with my friends, my family members, those that I'm staying with. I'm going to be able to bless them along the way. And how good is that? One of my friends, other friends, he was like, Ron, he says, you know what, he was renting a room out, and the person decided to get their own apartment. So I said, oh, that's going to change your financial situation. I said, oh, maybe I'll come by and spend time with you and help you out until you find another tenant. I can do whatever I want. And I'm very happy doing it because I am going to bless my friends. That's the best part of it all, is that my friends are going to be blessed in the whole. I can't just be blessed by myself. I got to bless others. I see here also, what else? I see some more mornings. I see some more mornings. Elise says, that's exactly what fear is. False evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. And we have the great, wonderful G. Art Houston Jack in the building. Good morning, y'all, she says. Good morning. Lisa says, I applaud you because I don't think I could do it. I'm a cap and I like to be in control, and I definitely like my own spaces. Wouldn't want to live with someone. So kudos to you for taking the leap. Look, Lisa, if I want my private time, I can always get a hotel room. I can always live in I can go to a hotel and stay for a week. I mean, the options are open. So yeah. Hello, GSC. Good morning. Good morning. I see good morning. First of all, this is Motivation Monday. For those are here for the first time, it is Motivation Monday. Make sure you hit the likes. Make sure you hit subscribe if you're here for the first time. I did not link Instagram today for this conversation. I just wanted to have a conversation with this community, and so if you're here, you're gonna hear this conversation. I did not connect us with anyone else, but sorry, LinkedIn is connected here. So LinkedIn folks are here, and you have LinkedIn and YouTube. No Instagram today. And I see here, Dia says, fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Woof. DS, you ain't lying there. There's an old, there was this gentleman, he used to do all these encouraging videos online. I forgot his name, young guy. And he had one of these videos he created. And he is a old man, an old woman. They're in their bed. They're dying. They're in the last stages of their life, and one is excited about all the great things that they've done because they lived the life, and the other one did not live life and was in such despair. I choose to be the one that says, I did everything I could to live life. Life is a blessing. Life is a gift. If you can live it, you got your arms and legs and fingers and eyeballs and ears, and there's so many people that don't. You better take advantage of it while you got them. Live your best life now. Dia says, doing it afraid equals courage. Nice. Antonio's in the building. What's up, Anthony Rowland? Good morning. It's been a long time. It has so. It's so good I'm so glad to see you here, Mr. Anthony. Omar says, you have earned a place in history. You are now becoming a nomad of the world. That's right. You are extending your story and taking us along with you. You better believe it, buddy. See, Omar knows me. Omar is my friend for 40 plus years. He knows Hadley. Hadley, Omar, and a couple of us. We all grew up together in our young 20 days. Woo! Our very young 20 days. And but yeah, my job, I want to share it all with everyone, because again, I want people that are 60 years old to know that life does not end at 60. Life does not end at 50. And unfortunately, there's some people that think life ends at 40. It doesn't end. Life is what you make it. Make it grand. Make it beautiful. And Kimmy Kim's in the building. She says, "Hello, everyone. Are y'all enjoying this time of just sharing? If you are, keep on sharing. Keep on saying, yeah, you approve. Do you approve this message? That's what I should be saying. Do you approve this message?" Dr. Tachi's in the building. She says, "Good day, all." Dr. Tachi, inspiration. Could you imagine? Again, if I would have stayed at the Container Store, I wouldn't know Dr. Tachi. I wouldn't know Kelly A. I wouldn't know Kimmy Kim. I would not know Anthony Rowland. I would not know DS. I would not know Lisa Seeley in all of her healing. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong side of the glass. Hello, healing. Yes, I would have never met you guys if I would have stayed comfortable in my job that just paid the bills. Right? You are more than just paying bills, y'all. You have a life that is beyond just paying bills. DS says, "Hey, Anthony, I appreciate you answering my question even after the podcast." And that's to Anthony. Hey, Anthony's a good man. Anthony's a good man. Good day, all. Good day, all. I see. Good day. Good morning, everyone. We do not celebrate colonizers, says Dr. Tachi. That's exactly, my dearest. And she said, "I thought after further review, he actually never even stepped foot in America." Exactly. Ding, 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 ding. Christopher Columbus has never been to America. Janice Fisher says, I spoke with June Trustdale yesterday. She needs some encouragement. Let's do that. Jamel says that. Okay. Let's do that. Reach out to people. Jamel and I had a great conversation about reaching out and talking to people. Make it a daily plan. If you can just call one person a day in your circle, in your posse, in your group, in the people you know, check up on them. This is called Touch Base Daily for a reason. I touch base with you every day just to touch base with you, right? We need to touch base with the people in our lives, because especially now, people are struggling. People are feeling hopeless. People are hurting. People are scared. People are feeling, like their whole world is like falling apart. Some people are dealing with health matters. Some people are dealing with family, bad marriages, spouses walking out. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. And if you just say, hello, you can make them smile today. If you just pick up the phone and say, hello. Remember I told you last week, I'll get on the phone. Sometimes I'll just call Adrian and say, I just call to say I love you. Right? I just do it. Just because. Not because I need anything. Not because I want anything. I just do it because it's just a good thing. When someone's in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit, call them. Reach out to them. You could save a life. How many times I've gotten emails, I should say, someone would slide into the DMs here in this platform and say, Ron, your words of encouragement today saved my life. I was near the end. We don't know. We don't know what we are doing. Sorry, let me change back. We don't know the lives we're touching when we just say hello and give someone a smile. Lee says, that's the mindset of all of the colonizers back when you're talking about the Christopher Columbus. Sounds like them. There are good people on both sides. Nope. They're not good people on both sides. Omar says, yes, I am part indigenous Indian from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Lisa says, Chile, Italians get their parties in a bunch over this man. They do, they do, they do. 2 years will fly by, says Dr. Tachi. Yes, indeed, it will. Anthony says, Columbus probably coined the phrase good enough for government work. Ooh, did you say that? Mimi's in the building. Mimi Hinton is in the building, y'all. She's in the building. She says, hi, Ron and the RLP family. Good to see you here. Good to see you. And Dia says, wow, so glad to hear you are cancer-free. Cancer-free, yes, indeed. Hey, Frida Jones is in the building. Frieda Jones. And Ali says, as we realize that life is finite, we start to reflect on how we are living and if we are really enjoying life. If it don't bring me joy, I ain't doing it. You come to a place in life, all you want to do is have peace, peace of mind, peace with people, peace in your environment, peace, 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 because peace brings you what? Let the choir sing it. Joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Right? Joy, joy. Joy has nothing to do with what's happening. Remember that. Joy has nothing to do about what's happening. That's what the word happy is for. The word happy is for things that are happening. Joy is internal. Joy is from within. What brings you joy every morning, every day? Not what's happening. Not what brings you happiness. Happiness has nothing to do with joy. They can work together sometimes. They work hand in hand, but they're two different things. Happiness works with happy things happening. Joy is just simply because you woke up this morning. There's joy. Joy in your soul. Dia says, it's not so much the year in your life that matters as much as the life in your years. See, DS is the man. DS, when you going to start coming on live? DS, you need to start coming on live. I'm just challenging you. Kimmy Kim says the food plane, so true, so true. So Dia says, live your life now, write that book, start that business, go back to school. Whatever brings you joy. Mimi says, you leave the job or the job will leave you. Sometimes we stay too long in one place. And as a Black community, we stay too long. Our white counterparts, they leave. And they don't stay at a job. They don't stay at a job. And a lot of them are mediocre. You work your tail off to stay at that job. You work your tail off to study. You work your tail off to be the best in the building. And our white counterparts, no. I read this. I'll never forget. I think it was the article in 1990, maybe it was 1999, maybe it was like 1999, 1998. There was an article in the Black Enterprise. And it shared how Black people stay at jobs too long. We give our lives to jobs, and our white counterparts only stay 5 years, 6 years, 3 years, 10 years, and then they move on. We, on the other hand, we will find a job and stay that job until they kick us out. Even though they treat us like crap. We got to change the narrative, y'all. Change the narrative. Okay, makes sense to me, Ron, says DS. Mimi says that part, Ron. And Anthony says, you think that cancer put a period, but clearly that wasn't the end of your story. God placed the period with a comma. I like that. You're making the most and experiencing amazing things with your life. Exactly, DS. Sorry, that was Anthony. Dr. Ty says, love every part of this. DS says, I'm encouraged. And Miss Jones says, you could change the world. Heard. Heard. And Kimmy Kim said, always motivated by your daily conversations with us. Thank you, Kimmy Kim. Elise says the food plan. Exactly. We should focus on what really matters in life and live every day in its fullest. I love it. I love it. That's what we're talking about, y'all. Live your best life now. Life is too short. Jazzy says, good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, Jazzy Jazz. Dr. Tanya says, come on, Motivation Monday. Come on. That's what we're doing. It's Motivation Monday. And last you heard is Motivation Monday here today. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. We're here to motivate one another. Kimmy Kim says, so great, so great. Dr. Tachi says, what a wonderful way to look at things. Kelly A says, wow, awesome, Ron. What a blessing. Elise says, that's wonderful, Ron. Dr. Tachi is such a blessing. And then Janet said, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, CT is a spiritual killer. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Kelly A said, just paid the bills. Woo, food for thought. Nice. Mimi says, ain't that the truth? It's the peace for me. The older you get, the only thing you want in life is peace. Shoot, you could live on a linoleum floor with no furniture in the room as long as you can have peace. Let me tell you, I could give up all of this and just live in a blank room with just a suitcase as long as I have peace. Peace. Janet says, gotta know when to roll them, when to fold them, and know when to walk away. Yes, Janet. Yes, Janet. DT is in the building. DT Tuggle is in the building. Make sure you hit the likes if you're in the building. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe if this is your first time here or listening to this. DT. I said, well, the love for DT is in the building. And now I'm caught up. And then he says, could at least be hardwood. Linoleum? Linoleum is at the bottom. Everyone has, lots of people have wood floors. But if you are, I remember when my mom, we had our apartment, my first floor in the kitchen was a linoleum floor. We couldn't afford wood. We only had a linoleum floor at my first apartment when I was a kid. My mother said, I'll never forget when my mother, replaced the linoleum floor that her aunt had when she had took over the apartment. And when my mother got that brand new linoleum floor and they laid that thing down, we thought we were in a mansion. That linoleum floor was everything to us. Yes, it was. So that linoleum floor, I will remember for the rest of my life. That linoleum floor. Yes, that was it. Okay, so let's go into our encouragement. We are there. We are near where we need to be. Let's go for our closing statement for the day. And this can be found in our Patreon community. If you have not joined our Patreon community, you should. If you want to support what we do here in this on this platform, this is our Patreon page. And we everything we do here, all of our teaching lessons, all of our tip Tuesdays, all of our motivation Mondays, they are all on our Patreon page. So join the Patreon page, Patreon community. You can do it $3 a week, or you can do whatever you want. Some people in this build, some of our Patreon members are $25 a month or whatever, and they support what we do here. People believe. There's some people that believe in what we do here. So there we have it. Oh, that came out too big. Oh, let me see if I can shrink that just a little bit. Oh, one thing about Apple, it's like either or. Let's see. Let's see if I can get that on another page. Hold on a second. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll deal with it. We'll do it this way. We'll just scan and scroll and move around. Okay. Motivation Monday. Monday Muse, show up, shoot forward. Can I say that again? It's the Monday Muse. Show up, shoot forward. This is based on the quote from Henry Matisse, great artist. Don't wait for inspiration. It comes while working. Don't wait for it. But if you put your hands to the plow and start working at it, inspiration. The moment you say yes to your life and get out there and do something, then you get inspiration to do more. You get inspiration when you're working. Let's move on. Pick up the camera. This is for all our photographers out there and artists. It could be your paintbrush. It could be your machinery, or it's your sewing machine. It could be your knitting tools. Whatever it is, pick it up. The muse will meet you there. I love this. This week, let your lens be the invitation, not to perfection, but to presence. I get this cue. To the quiet. Let me get in here. Here we go. Magic in morning light, the rhythm of city streets, the stories etched in every face and frame. Creativity isn't a lightning strike. It's a conversation between your eyes and the world, between your courage and the unknown, between your heart and the moment you choose to press the click. So show up, shoot forward, share boldly. Your vision matters. Your work connects. Your story inspires. Let's begin. Let's begin the work, y'all. All you need to do is get to working. Get out there and work. Get out there and do it. If you do it, it'll all work out. You will be inspired. You will be engaging. You will have new life, because there's nothing like inspiration that gives you new life, a new thought, a new dream, a new idea. It gives you purpose. They say, when they talk to senior citizens that in what they call the blue zones around the planet, those are the people that live beyond 100 years old, 100 and older. They live in these blue zones around the planet. And all of them have something in common. One thing, they have many things in common, but one thing they all have in common for long life and longevity. You know what it is. I don't have to tell you, but I will. Purpose. Purpose. So as they used to say in the church, put your hand to the plow. Get out there and work. Get out there and do what you love to do. Work it. And I guarantee you, inspiration will come. Tia says, waiting for inspiration can easily become procrastination. But when you start, even imperfectly, ideas start to flow. Momentum builds, and suddenly you're in that zone people call creative flow. You better believe it, DS. Inspiration isn't a magical lightning bolt. It often comes when you're in the trenches, doing the work, making mistakes, experimenting, and showing up consistently. DS, were you in my notes tonight? Were you in my notes? Showing up consistently. Alicia says, this morning message was very inspirational. I'm glad. I am glad you are inspired. I'm inspired. You inspire me every day. That's why I'm here. You inspire me to get up and do research and go online and figure out this and figure out that so I can come to you ready to share with you. You inspire me. You give me purpose. Now give each other purpose. Give yourself purpose. Give yourself purpose. Okay, here's some things I want to share with you. Make sure you sign up for our email listing at ronlewisphotos.com. Just go there and you'll be on the mailing list, the email list. That's so important, the email list. Some of you take me up on this invitation because I see it going up every day. Some people go in, they sign up for the emails. And then also, I'm an event photographer. And because I'll be a nomadic photographer now, I will start putting up a schedule so that you'll know when I'm in them. You'll know when I'm in Namibia. You'll know when I'm in North Carolina. You'll know when I'm in Florida. So that way, if you want to get headshots done or you got an event that you want photographed, you will know where I am according to your calendar. And if you need me to photograph, obviously I'm going to charge you, but I'll be there to photograph your project or your event. Also, again, thank you to our Patreon members. Your support helps us create amazing content. Without the Patreon community, there would be no Touch Base Daily. So I am thankful for every single person that is committed to this community by supporting you and making sure you get the devices and everything else that are associated with creating Touch Base Daily. Also, you are invited to join the YouTube channel and hit the likes and hit the subscribe. Okay? Do you guys learn anything today? Are you walking out inspired? Are you inspired? Because someone say yes. If you are inspired today, if you are going to take a moment, these three, you got two things you're going to do for homework for tonight, for the day, for the week. One, reach out to people. Reach out, check on people, touch base daily with someone. Touch base daily with someone. Make sure they're okay. Check and see check their well-being. Are they sick? Are they hurting? Are they in pain? Are they going through something? Are they struggling? Are they mentally hurting? Right? Check on them. Number two, you're going to get out there and have purpose. What's your purpose? Find your purpose. And once you find your purpose, go to it. Go and work at it. And work hard at it. And then by working at it, you will be inspired. Okay? That's your homework assignment for the week. That's your inspiration. That is your motivation for today. I hope you are inspired like Arlicia was. DS says, purpose acts like a compass. It gives meaning to the work, fuels motivation, and when things get tough, and shapes the kind of inspiration that shows up. Yes. Kimmy Kim says, thanks, Ron. Great show. Dia says, great stream today. Okay, guys. Dr. Tachi sends applause. Okay. I know somebody. I know it meant something to somebody out there. And if it does, if it changes something in your life and you want to send me a note, you can do that too. You can send me a DM. You can slide into my DMs, or you can just send me an email or whatever. Reach out. I would love to hear. Be inspired, y'all. You got this. Talk to you. Well, I may pop in during the week, but Gwendolyn's in control this week, and Chris, they will be leading the way. So tune in with them. They're going to have a great time with you guys. You know, Gwendolyn never comes half anything. So, you know, she won't have something to talk about. And she is always, I'm sure she's already planned it already. So she's going to have a great time with you guys leading the way. I will be packing the boxes, and I may peek in once in a while, but I'll be packing. So hopefully next Monday, I will be joining you from my new location. next Motivation Monday. Okay, guys, but I will see you guys sometime during the week. I'll pop in and out. And if you want to know what I'm doing also through this whole process, join me on my new Instagram account, which is a nomadic photographer. and that is on my Instagram. And I'll be doing lives. Like I'm going to do a live in a little bit. So I'm going to walk people through my process as I pack up the house. So I'll be doing I'll be doing lives on that and sharing on my stories. Well, I won't be doing lives there because I can't do lives, but I will do stories on my Ron Lewis photos and then get them over there. I got to get that page up to 1,000 people. So let people know about it. A nomadic photographer. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. And hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.